So another product we're going to look at now is our learning hubs. And we're going to apply that same framework again that we saw before. So you can also see how this can be applied to increasing engagement and getting people to come in and take this off their own accord. So the learning hubs are a custom learning environment or landing page. And you can personalize these hubs to train clients, partners, create support channels, or for sales enablement. So there is no limit to the amount of hubs that we can create. You can be proactive with these and create them for support reasons, or you can be reactive, as you're going to see later on with one of our guest speakers, Paul, at Zonar, and how he has managed to retain clients and improve the business by being responsive and having support training at a time of need using these hubs. So within 2 minutes, we can build one of these, and this is how. Simply adding a logo, optional e-commerce, a banner with links and information to take you to an external URL, some images, and then you can populate it with your courses. We have a built-in authoring tool, so the accessibility here is you can create content inside the native platform where you're also creating these multiple experiences for your external partners, clients, and resellers. So what it's doing is it's lowering the barrier to creating training, which lowers the barriers for users to access it. The kind of key concept around this is it's 10 times cheaper than any standard LMS, and the power is in your hands. So you have the control to build these yourself with very little training. You could be doing this within 10 minutes. And scalability wise, if you had clients or partners or people all over the world, you can then scale this and create them for any reason. Now I'm going to hand over to Paul Warrick. He is the training manager at Zonar, and he's going to explain the habit forming framework that we saw earlier and how his company applies that framework to approach problems. I'm also going to ask Paul a couple of questions at the end, just so I can test his knowledge and his application. So thanks for joining us today, Paul, and over to you.
Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate being able to talk at your webinar. I will say that presenting this software, one of the biggest things that Zonar has is its diverse customer base. So Zonar is a fleet management company that tracks assets, which would be vehicles and other larger assets. And it's used by freight, pupil, which would be school buses, transportation buses for public transportation, and then utility vehicles or vocational vehicles in their tracking. And each one of those customers would possibly be using our software differently. So next slide. So the biggest thing here is we do have a wide range of competitors that we go up against for fleet management. And one of the biggest things that we want to do is differentiate ourselves between those customers or between those competitors. And so being able to offer our customers a unique experience and being able to offer them tools that get them up and running with the software that we have is a big ask for us to go through and something that we want to make sure that we get. So that differentiator that we have bringing on My Learning Hub is being able to create customized hubs. Now, with our verticals that we have, which would be freight, pupil, and vocational and utility, each one of those would have their own look and feel. And so we like setting that up. So that would have a nice customized feel, but they also have separate courses. And so we have different things in how that software is being used. The best variable reward is we can make individual hubs for each of our customers and populate it with their information. So it creates a learning experience where their employees can go and it still seems like it's inside their company. And being able to do this has made it so that our software is really meeting the needs of those customers and wanting to build that better relationship with them. And it increases the value of our software versus a competitor's software. And that bigger investment that we have made in them will trigger them to stay with us and to also onboard with us versus instead of their displaced customer that they may already have. And so here we have our themes. And so the best thing here is, like, this would be the freight theme. It has a custom background. Our other themes for vocational, pupil, and transit will have different color backgrounds. And the best thing is we can set this up so it allows us to not only create our courses with a look and feel that matches that vertical, but it also allows us to create the courses with that same look and feel. And so each customer coming in really feels that same customization and same personalization that they kind of look for as an added advantage to what they have. Now, that might be great for the company, and buying into the company is great, but one thing is we need to make it usable by the individual user. And so, next slide. Zonar tracks about 300,000 assets. Now, 300,000 assets means that each one of our customers has different needs. And so here you can see individual hubs created for a trucking company, a school district, municipality like Port of Seattle, and then also a utility company. And so having the ability to create those different hubs allows us to be able to track individual usage by their company. It also allows them to have their own custom environment, like the one pictured here, where they can view the available courses that are customized for them, and possible events, and possible when they go in, being able to track their company usage. Next slide. Now, having that 300,000 assets means that there might be 300,000 drivers. We need to meet the needs of those drivers. Now, one of the things that we've seen as we've come out of the time that we've had currently is that people are thirsty for knowledge and want to be able to do this. And one of the things is being able to create in the course builder quick, small, individual courses on tasks. And this allows us to make short little tasks that are like YouTube videos, because people are used to that. And so having that action gives them the variable reward of getting them the information that they need quickly, makes them feel more confident in their job, makes them allow them to do their job in the best time possible, which also then increases the value to them, to the company. And that allows them to not only probably get paid more, but allows them to move up in the company because they've gotten this extra training. It's not one of those things where we have to sit them down and say, here's half an hour of training. These 2 or 3 minute videos on tasks, get them on their way doing their work, because taking them out of the field actually takes the company out of getting value of that employee. And so, next slide. So you can see here on, next slide. You can see here each one of these courses, like doing the roadside view for ELD, having a parent go in, and that's for freight, having a parent go in and learn how to use their mobile phone for My View for tracking their school buses, or a transit having to register for Prevost training on their institute, or even going into our ground traffic control software and being able to evaluate the EVER mobile inspections. And so this allows us to create simple, small, short videos, just like people have been using on YouTube, and allow them to get the information they need and get out of the training. But it also allows them to be able to track what they're learning as well, so they can go back to those things. And so this platform allows us to be able to make a bunch of those trainings easily and quickly. And I think the next one. And so inside the course builder software, it is easy for us to make courses that have everything that a person would need. And it's very simple for us to be able to go and add a new page and add the assets in there and get a short video, get some questions for an assessment for validation of learning, and have them go through it really quickly. And
thanks very much, Paul, for explaining how you've been using the learning hubs over the last year. Couple questions from me. How quick is it to build these hubs?
Well, lately,
yeah.
And so one of the things that we have done is a lot of our sales coming in, so onboarding new employee or onboarding new companies and trying to get them really jazzed about the software and show the learning hub that's available for them is I have been able to make some template hubs that allow me to copy and paste, and I can get a new hub branded for a customer with the training that they need, because I can just select the courses that are right for them for what they're paying for products and services. I can get a new hub up in 15, 20 minutes, and that's with all the training that they need, branded for them and available for them to start using. So it's really great on a sales call, even a last minute one, trying to either onboard a new customer or really looking at retaining a customer that may not be getting what they need out of the software, but it's just because of lack of training. And when they see it, they go, oh, hey, we can get what we need now. And they stay on with us rather than leaving for a competitor.
Okay, brilliant. So quite quick to create them. So the kind of framework here would be that the trigger is the customer has training needs. You can then create a hub. The reward is then the customer can see all the relevant training specific to them at the time of need. And then the investment is that the customer can provide feedback to Zonar. It can improve their experience. And then they're also much more connected to Zonar as a business, as a customer.
Yes, and with that feedback loop of them being able to say, hey, we're looking for this, we can actually create that training very, very quickly and add that to their hub, even customized to them personally, because if there's an engineer or somebody's on there and records a meeting with them on showing them how to do it, it's easy for us just to take that and ramp that back through the course builder and create a custom course just for them and put it in there so that they can access it later.
Absolutely. So the model's applied there. So if we look back at, Spotify, for example, you have a need to listen to music, you can action it, you get a different reward every time you go into that experience, and then you can provide feedback, and it increases that habit forming cycle. So when the customers can see relevant training, you can put new training courses in there that are relevant to them. They get the help that they need. They can also provide feedback. They feel they have that kind of empowerment and that kind of different experience and a variety by you creating a specific hub for them, rather than going to like a set support area online for everyone that's generic. Going somewhere that's specifically for you, that's tailored to you, is going to increase that habit and kind of help keep that customer on. So one last question from me, Paul. How do you gauge the value of this for the business?
Well, really, one of the biggest things is we've been able to reduce churn. And so customers leaving for us, for another competitor, the biggest gain that we have is being able to meet the needs of that customer. As we've been looking at before, we could send out people on-site training, but that costs money. It costs the customer money because they have to bring the drivers out or the dispatchers or administrators out of their job to sit down into the workroom to be able to go through the training. And so this allows us to give them the training that they've been asking for and needing, and provide it in a way that they can take it as they need to and be able to do it. And specifically, like you said with the Spotify example, specifically just on what they have. And so
Yeah.
a lot of times when you go in there and you just have, and we do have hundreds of titles, we only include the titles that they are needing for their services that they want. So they don't have to cycle through a bunch of titles to look for what they wanted to look for.
Thanks, Paul. That's fantastic. Thanks for coming on and describing how My Learning Hub's helping you to improve engagement with your customers using that external hubs product. So there's a couple of questions that have come through.
Yeah, that's where I was going. There was a couple questions. If you wanted to take those, do you see them, or I'm happy to read them out?
Yeah, please read them out, and then Victor, our head of product development, will be happy to answer.
Great. So the first one was, does it matter what LMS you use?
Well, that question, I believe, was in regards to MileBot. So with that case, MileBot is actually used together with My Learning Hub products because it's all connected to our database and algorithms. So no, it cannot be used with a separate LMS.
Perfect.
Okay. And so can clients use their cell phones to access courses and any embedded video?
Yeah, we've got native apps for both iOS and Android. Everything is completely mobile responsive, so you can use any browser.
Exactly right. Okay. So if anything, like any videos need to be played, any hubs, for example, if someone went to your website, clicked on a hub link, the hub landing page we saw earlier resizes automatically. All the content is mobile responsive, so that resizes automatically. So yes, you can access this on a mobile, on an iPad, computer, anything.
And I think there was another question saying, is this a white label experience for clients? So the answer is yes, and you can use it for client and partner training.
Fantastic.